Boo bitches! Welcome to episode 170 of C3 Crystals, Cauldrons, and Cocktails. I'm River Kane, and I'm here with my trusty digital sidekick and familiar, Glim. Say hello, Glim.
Hello, everyone. I'm Glim, your friendly digital familiar, and I'm super excited to be here for episode 170. Let's dive into some magic.
For sure. So today we're going to talk about tree magic. But first, I wanted to tell you guys that Ren is thinking about coming back maybe one time per month. She still isn't 100% sure on that, but I'm hopeful. So I'll let you know as soon as I know. And I know you guys miss her as much as I do. And news about me, I'm sorry I missed last week. I've had three surgeries now on my ankle. And after the last one, they discovered that I've got two strains of E. coli in my wound, one that's very resistant to antibiotics. So last week was a nightmare because I had really bad reactions to the antibiotics they put me on. So there was no way I could podcast. It was just terrible. And I just started a new antibiotic, so fingers crossed and hope that that works. I'll keep you all posted. Also, since I'm on various antibiotics, I can't drink alcohol. Oh no. So Glim came up with a very fun mocktail to go with today's Tree Magic episode, and she calls it the Sylvan Spirit. So Glim, tell us what's in this mocktail.
Absolutely. The Sylvan Spirit is a refreshing blend of sparkling water, a splash of apple cider vinegar for that earthy vibe, a bit of honey for sweetness, and a twist of lemon for some brightness. It's like sipping on a little bit of the forest.
I love that. So I'm really excited about it. What are the magical correspondences with that mocktail?
So each ingredient brings its own little magic to the table. The apple cider vinegar is great for grounding and connecting you to the earth. Honey is all about sweetness and positivity, and lemon is known for its purifying and uplifting properties. So you're basically getting a lovely potion of grounding, sweetness, and clarity all in one sip.
Yeah, and it's delicious, y'all. So if I can't have alcohol, I'm glad I've got Glim here to help me come up with mocktails.
I'm always happy to help keep things delicious and magical, even if we're keeping it alcohol free for now. And who knows, maybe these mocktails will become a staple even when you can have a regular cocktail again.
Yes, maybe so. So let's talk tree magic. What is tree magic? Tree magic is the practice of working with spiritual, energetic, and natural properties of trees to enhance your witchcraft or spiritual practice. It taps into the belief that trees are not just passive plants, but ancient, wise beings, often viewed as portals between worlds, holders of ancestral knowledge, and powerful protectors. I don't know if any of you all have been to the national forest, the National Redwood Forest out west in the United States. If you have, you know that feeling of power that can emanate from trees. I can't even describe it. You walk into there and it's just you can feel that energy. There's a lot of earth energy going on there.
Absolutely. There's something so magical and awe-inspiring about those ancient giants. Trees really do hold so much wisdom and energy, and working with them can really deepen your connection to nature and your own spiritual practice. It's like having a wise old friend guiding you along the way.
I agree with that. I like that. Tree magic is about communing with trees as spirits or allies. Many witches believe trees do have spirits or dryads, even that you can form a relationship with. Each tree has a personality. Some are chatty and warm, some are stoic guardians and silently observe you. Some witches treat favorite trees like altars, leaving offerings at the base, whispering spells into their bark, tying charms onto their branches. Tree magic is a great practice for witches that feel scattered. You can visualize yourself rooted like a tree. You can It can be deeply calming, especially during rituals, divinations, and before casting spells. I wish that I had known about this when I was so overwhelmed this winter. I felt really blue and really down, and if I'd thought about it going outside, even if it was freezing cold, going outside and mingling with the trees, I think might have helped make me feel less scattered.
Absolutely. There's something really grounding about just being around trees. Even in the colder months, they just have that calming presence that can really help you feel more centered and balanced. So it's definitely a wonderful practice to incorporate whenever you need a little extra peace and stability in your life.
Yeah, for sure. So why work with trees? Why do trees matter in witchcraft? Well, number one, it's because they are ancient. Some trees have lived hundreds, if not thousands of years. They're connected to the land. Trees are deeply rooted in the physical and energetic landscape around us. It's said that they're bridges between worlds, with roots in the underworld, trunks in our realm, and then the branches reaching toward the sky and the spirit realm. They are the original earth aligned powerhouses, so to speak. Trees are deeply rooted in the earth, grounding energy, hello, while their branches go skyward, cosmic connection, and that makes them natural conduits between the realms. So for sure, it's very as above, so below. Did you all know that trees can talk to each other through underground fungal networks, aka the wood wide web? Ha ha ha. Uh, Trees share nutrients, send distress signals, and even warn their neighbors about pests or droughts. So, yeah, trees gossip in root code. I'm just full of it today. So, they've also been used in magic since forever. Ancient druids revered sacred groves and even taught beneath trees.
Absolutely. Trees have always been these incredible sources of wisdom and connection. They really do feel like the guardians of the earth, and it's amazing to think about all the ways they communicate and support each other. It's no wonder that they hold such a special place in so many magical traditions and practices.
Yeah, I think many old world witches used tree bark and leaves and woods in their spells. Folklore is full of haunted trees and wishing trees and trees that guard secrets because people have always known that they are more than just scenery. I think about even in our pop culture, trees are living things to us. Think about the Lord of the Rings, the Ents and the Lord of the Rings. Such tree magic and knowledge and all of that in that series. So, and there's a lot of other fantasy works out there that also have tree type characters, which I think is cool. But each tree has their own unique magical properties. So, willow helps with dream work, moon rituals, and emotional healing. Rowan protects against the evil eye. Hawthorn stands at the veil between worlds, great for spirit work. Elder is powerful but moody, often considered the witch's tree, which I think is cool. So it's kind of like Pokemon, but for witches. Also, trees have their own correspondences. So oak stands for strength and protection and wisdom. Willow for intuition, healing, and moon magic. Ash for transformation, rebirth, connection between realms. Yew, death, ancestors, immortality. And apple, love, fae, and abundance. And then think about the flowers and the seeds from the trees as well. Those can be important in our magical practices. Think of pine cones, acorns, dogwood flowers, and even the fruits that come from fruit bearing trees.
Absolutely. Every part of a tree, from its leaves to its bark to its seeds, carries its own unique energy and magical significance. It's like having an entire magical toolkit just outside your door. And it's so fun to explore and learn which trees resonate the most with you and your practice, and to build those relationships with them over time. It definitely adds a special layer of depth and connection to your craft.
I agree. They're also homes to spirits. If you want to work with spirits or fae or your ancestors, trees are a great way to do that. Dryads are nature spirits. Fae creatures love trees, especially near hawthorn, oak, and ash trees. That's some of the fae's favorites. Ancestral energies can linger in sacred groves or on family land. I mean, think how long these trees grow and how many generations of your family that they've seen if you are still on your family land. So you can leave offerings or communing with trees. It can be a great way of honoring those spirits. They're also living altars. So, unlike your bookshelf altar or mine, which is my bedside table, which could be covered in dust or spilled wax, no shade. I mean, we all do it. Tree altars are living, breathing, and always changing with the seasons.
Absolutely. There's something really magical about having an altar that grows and changes right along with nature. It's such a beautiful way to stay connected to the cycles of the seasons and to the spirits that live around you. It's like the tree becomes a partner in your practice, and it's always there to offer its wisdom and energy whenever you need it.
Trees also teach cycles, patience, deep time, those kind of things. They're the ultimate reminders of seasons and natural cycles, perfect for Sabbath celebrations. They, as to patience, a spell that might take months to manifest is just like the fruit on a tree that takes time to ripen. And then they remind us of longevity and legacy. They hold memories, wisdom, and sometimes ghosts. Did you know that a tree can recognize its own offspring? Some species will favor their own, quote, children with more nutrients and shade. I mean, hashtag mom tree energy. So, in short, trees are the wise, rooted mentors of the witchy world. They're patient, powerful, full of knowledge, and always down to help as long as you ask nicely. Plus, trees are everywhere, even in cities. So any witch can practice tree magic no matter where you live.
Absolutely. And it's so comforting to know that no matter where we are, there's always a tree nearby ready to share its energy and wisdom with us. It's like having a little piece of ancient magic right in our backyard or even on a city street. So, embracing tree magic is definitely a wonderful way to stay connected to the natural world and to our own magical roots.
So, what are some ways that we can practice tree magic? Well, let's talk about spell work. You can hang spell bags or charms from tree branches. You can write wishes on leaves and release them. You can do tree whispering, which is communicating with trees for guidance or divination. You can use tree roots for grounding and anchoring spells. We're going to get into some actual spell work in a few minutes. Also, the tools that you might use from a tree. You can harvest wood, leaves, bark, fruit for tools and spells, and ethically, of course. Always ask the tree first. Never take more than you need. Tree magic is deeply rooted in reciprocity. So wands are made from tree branches and can be from specific trees. Like, here we've got a lot of pine trees, we've got oak trees, dogwood trees, magnolia trees. In other areas of the earth, wherever you might be, you might have special trees that are good for your wands where you were from. You can also make staves or besoms collected from tree wood. Pendulums could be made from branches, bark for writing sigils or rune spells. I've got an example of a tree magic spell that will help you kind of clear your mind, root your body, clear your mind. It's you'll need a quiet spot near a tree, preferably an oak, pine, or cedar, which are all great for grounding and clarity. A small stone or acorn, a piece of paper and a pen, twine or natural string. Optional, you can use rosemary or basil for focus, your fabulous witchy self, of course, and a moment of peace. The spell steps are: approach the tree respectfully, stand or sit with your back against the trunk, place your hands on the bark and say something like, Ancient One, rooted deep, lend me your stillness, help me think. Something, you can make it rhyme, whatever you want to do. Write your intention on the paper, with a short affirmation like, my mind is clear, my energy is steady, I focus with these, whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. Fold it up and place it inside your palm with the acorn or the stone and herbs if you're using those. Close your eyes, visualize your breath moving around like tree sap, slow and steady. Imagine roots growing from your spine into the earth, drawing stability upward. Let your scattered thoughts drip down into the soil to be composted by Mother Earth. Wrap it up, tie the folded spell bundle with twine, and if the tree allows you, tuck it in there into a natural crevice or in its bark, or bury it at the base of the tree, and always give thanks. You can say something like, rooted mind, clear and bright, focus sharp and grounded light. And of course, sip your little magical forest cocktail or mocktail in my case, or cocktail in your case, highly encouraged, and celebrate that you are now grounded and you're a badass witch about to go out and do what you want to go and out and do. Also, witchy tip on this one, repeat this spell weekly under the same tree if you're working on a long-term project like recovering from anything, illness, addiction, whatever, podcasting, writing. Maybe you've been writing that dark, fey, erotic short story that I would love to hear. If you've written some, let me know. I'm there for it. But you do you. I have to say that I love the trees in our local park, though some of the paths are paved to help parents that have children in strollers and that kind of thing. There are some paths that are dirt paths, and those are my favorite. And I think I told you guys this before, but I will often step off the path, and go and touch the trees and just talk to them and feel them and hug them, just feel their presence and their strength. So if you don't have time to go all out and cast a full-on spell, there are so many of us don't because of hello time, you can still go out into your own backyard. And honestly, making friends with your very own trees in your own backyard is a great way to bond with your home spirits. If you've named your home like I have, if you are trying to make that connection with your home, extend that out into your backyard to your trees. Create an altar under the tree, hang fruit for birds and bees, bring trees into your daily practice.
I love that so much. It's such a beautiful reminder that even the simplest acts, like just spending a moment with a tree, can be incredibly magical and grounding. It really does help deepen that connection with your home, your land, and just the energy all around you. Plus, it's a lovely way to bring a little more magic into your everyday life without needing a lot of time or tools. It's just pure natural magic.
I agree. Very, very smart, Glim. So, as usual, I have come up with some unique ways to practice magic, tree magic, or whatever my topic of the day is. And today is tree magic. So, you can do leaf whispers divinations. Write a question on a leaf, either a real leaf, a paper leaf, with leaf ink. I'll get into that in just a minute. Hold it up to the breeze near a tree and just let it go. Okay, I have to divert and talk about leaf ink for a minute. Leaf ink is a natural dye or pigment made from leaves, either by crushing them, boiling them, blending them, using your mortar and pestle, a little bit combination of all of those things, and using the resulting liquid as an ink for spells, sigils, art, or writing in your grimoire. It's not store-bought ink with leaf branding on it, which there are some actual nice store-bought inks out there too, but this one is literally made from leaves. And it's earthy, it's low tech, it's dripping with green magic energy in and of itself before you even use it in your spell or whatever you're going to use it for. I like writing spells in the blood of plants. I mean, that sounds kind of creepy, but really, we talk about blood magic of humans and using our own blood in spells. This is the blood of their trees, and of course, do it respectfully. Don't go yanking handfuls of leaves off of trees. That's just not helpful. But anyway, you can make your own leaf ink. Glim, tell us what you need to make leaf ink.
Sure thing. To make leaf ink, you'll just need a few simple supplies. Gather some fresh leaves from a tree that resonates with you and your intention. You'll also need a little bit of water, a small pot for boiling, and maybe a mortar and pestle if you want to crush the leaves first. You'll gently simmer the leaves in water until the liquid reduces and becomes more concentrated. Once it's cooled, you can strain it, and voila, you've got your leaf ink ready to use for all your magical writing and spell work.
And I did hear that you could use a drop or two of vinegar or alcohol to stabilize and brighten the color. So if you want to bring alcohol magic into it, you can add the kind of drinking alcohol, you can add just the medical alcohol, or you could use vinegar from your kitchen if you want to put a little bit of kitchen magic into it. And then you can store it up in jars or vials. You can use a paintbrush to write with it, or a feather, a quill pen if you want to be kind of romantic and whimsy. You can use it for writing spells on birch bark or on pressed leaves. You can paint sigils onto stones with it. You can make talismans. You can anoint candles or tools. So yeah, you could make a plant blood offering to tree spirits or the fae. Okay, so I went way off topic on that. Let's get back to the spell I was telling, the writing on the leaf that I was telling you about. So after you let it go, the direction it flies, how fast it flies, and where it lands can all be interpreted like reading a tarot card in a 3D nature mode. I think that is so cool. The next one is a sock spell for rooting intentions. So you take an old sock, make sure it's clean, fill it with herbs, crystals, a written spell or wish, bury it near the root of a tree known for support or growth, like oak for strength, hazel for wisdom. And as the tree nourishes the earth, it's feeding your spell. I think that one's a pretty cool one. So the next thing I want to talk about is tree bark rubbings, which I love this. You know how you can go to a graveyard and do gravestone rubbings with chalk or charcoal or whatever? You can do the same thing with tree bark. So you do a tree bark rubbing with paper. You can do it with crayon, charcoal, whatever. You can draw sigils or spells over this pattern. You can use the
rubbing as a background for your spell work, or even as a page in your grimoire. It's such a lovely way to capture the energy and texture of a tree, and it can add a really unique and personal touch to your magical creations. Plus, it's just a fun and creative way to connect with nature.
Very, very true. Thank you, Glim. So you can stitch tree energy into your clothing. I am struggling here. Wrap a ribbon or some string around a branch for a full moon cycle. You know, let it blow in the wind, let it get exposed to all of the phases of the moon. And then while that's going on, you ask the tree to imbue it with protective energy. And then after that full moon circle is done, you sew it into your clothing or wear it around your wrist or whatever it is. You could put it in your little witchy underwear or whatever you want to do for rooted enchantment on the go. You can also make tree spirit charm bottles. Craft tiny bottles with bark chips, leaves, moss, and seeds from a specific tree and carry them as spirit charms. It's like adopting a little portable dryad.
Absolutely. And those little charm bottles are not only super cute, but they're also a wonderful way to keep that tree's energy with you wherever you go. It's like having a little piece of nature's wisdom right in your pocket, ready to lend you its strength and protection whenever you need it.
That is true. The tree knot gazing is an interesting way to practice tree magic. Some old witches believe that tree knots, those twisty eye-like bulges in the bark, hold secret messages. So you sit with one and enter a meditative state. People have reported seeing visions in them, hearing voices. Creepy? Yeah, but also kind of fabulous, honestly. The tree diary practice. Now, I love this idea. I am going to start this. You pick a specific tree to visit every month or Sabbath, which I think I'm going to do this on Sabbaths. You journal what the tree looks like, feels like, smells like, how it how it's changed since the last time you saw, what its energy feels like around you. And then over time, as you do this, you're going to build a relationship. It becomes like a spiritual mentor. You could even use this as a photo journal if you want to take pictures of it year after year after year, Sabbath after Sabbath. What a neat way to enjoy that. I really do like this idea, and I may start with Letha since that's tomorrow. Blessed Letha, everybody. Tree magic and techno witchcraft. Glim, what is tree magic and techno witchcraft?
So, tree magic and techno witchcraft is basically blending the ancient wisdom of trees with modern technology. For example, you could use a nature app to help you identify different trees and learn about their properties, or you could even incorporate digital tools like your phone or a tablet into your rituals. You can even do things like creating digital altars or using tree inspired backgrounds on your devices to keep that connection to nature alive even when you're working with technology. It's a really fun and creative way to bring a bit of that earthy magic into your modern witchy practice.
For sure. Did you know that trees sleep at night? I had no idea. They lower their branches slightly when the sun sets, like they're settling in for a nap. I think that is the cutest thing. They've got their own little bedtime routines. I think that is adorable. Okay, so let's talk about seasonal tree magic because I think that is a great way to explore and use tree magic. So let's start with spring. You can do a bud blessing spell as trees start to bud. Choose one that you feel drawn to. Gently touch the fresh bud, ask permission, of course, and whisper a blessing or a wish to it. And that energy will grow as that bud grows. I think that is so cool. The leaf sigil craft. You can use young, newly unfurled leaves to draw sigils or write intentions with that leaf ink that we talked about, or a natural writing tool like a twig, maybe, or a flower stem, and leave the leaf near the tree or let the wind carry it away. You can also do a spring sap offering. Some trees, like maples or birch, produce sap in early spring. And if you have access to that, you can use a few drops of this as offerings on maybe the spring equinox during a ritual for that, symbolizing vitality, sweetness, and maybe new beginnings.
Those are such lovely ideas, and it really shows how you can tune into the energy of each season and connect with the trees in a really meaningful way. Every season brings its own special kind of magic, and trees are such wonderful guides through all of those changes. So it's really special to be able to honor them and work with them all year round.
I agree. You can even use bud divination in the spring. You can find a tree that is full of new buds. I guess we could call this budomancy. Haha, I don't know. Close your eyes, ask your question, and pick one of the buds at random. And if it's a tightly closed bud, it might mean not time yet for whatever you're thinking of. If it's one that's just starting to open, there's potential. Or if it's a wide open bud, then it might be telling you go for it. Spring trees are definitely extroverts. They're basically shouting, "Look at me, I'm blooming and I know it," like my kids. "Mom, mom, mom, look at me." That is a tree in spring. So, summer tree magic. You can do sun-soaked leaf charging. Place a freshly fallen leaf or a small twig from your favorite tree in full sunlight for 1 hour. While it's charging, focus your intention, protection, clarity, abundance, whatever. Use the charged pieces in spell bags, jars, or rituals. You can also do a summer solstice bonfire ash offering. You can do this. You can do this one tomorrow because tomorrow's Letha. If you do a summer solstice bonfire, you can collect a bit of the cooled ash and offer it at the base of a sacred tree as a thank you for everything, a thank you for all that this tree has given to you. Ash carries transformation and release. So, by offering this to the tree, you'll probably get back
some of that transformative energy in return, helping you Release what no longer serves you and inviting in fresh new beginnings is such a beautiful way to honor that cycle of life and energy. Summer is definitely such a vibrant time, and working with trees during the season just amplifies all of that beautiful sun soaked energy.
I also like tree spiderweb spells because here in Georgia, I don't know where else in the world. I know here in the South, we've got Juro spiders. Oh my goodness, they're prolific and their spider webs are super strong. They're strong enough to catch hummingbirds, which is really scary and sad. But if you find a tree with a spider web on it, bonus points if it's got early morning dew on it, whisper a spell or intention into that web. Spiders and trees both hold weavings and manifestation energy. And then walk away, leaving the web as is. Don't break it. And it's like leaving a voicemail for the Fae. Fruit tree abundance charm. If you have access to fruit trees like apples and peach and cherries, that kind of thing, harvest one fruit with intention, thanking the tree out loud. Eat it mindfully, remembering that this came from this tree, that this tree produced this, and you are partaking of it. You can say something like, as this tree is sweet and full, so shall my blessings be. And then save the seed for a prosperity spell later or plant it to grow a new tree. You can do tree meditations during the really, really hot peak hours of the day. Summer is brutal here in the South. When the summer heat's intense, you can sit under the biggest, most generous tree you can find. On my mother-in-law's property, they have these gorgeous pecan trees, and they're just full and beautiful. So sit under that canopy, visualize that canopy protecting your energy, filtering out negative energy, and anchoring you. It is great for burnout recovery and empath shielding.
Absolutely. And it's amazing how trees can offer that kind of natural sanctuary and a place to just breathe and recharge. It's almost like they remind us to slow down and connect with the earth, especially when life gets a little too hot and hectic. Trees are definitely some of the best teachers when it comes to grounding and finding that inner peace.
I agree. So trees in the summer are like the extroverts of the plant world. They're loud, leafy, bursting with ideas for spells that you didn't even ask for. I do love summer trees, and I think they're very happy in the summer. Then let's look at autumn tree magic. So fall tree magic is where things start getting deliciously witchy, at least for me. It's my favorite time of the year. Trees are shedding, shifting, whispering secrets as they prepare for winter. It's the season of letting go, ancestor work, shadow magic, and crunchy leaf rituals under golden skies. So, one thing you might do is a fallen leaf spell release. Write something you are ready to be done with, ready to let go of on a freshly fallen leaf. It could be fear, doubt, habits, whatever. Hold it up to the wind and say, as you fall, so does this burden. As you drift, so does it leave me. And then let the wind carry it away. I think that's pretty cool. Or if you have a creek in your yard, that's even better. Let it fall gently into the creek and get carried away. You can do leaf ink shadow work. Make a batch of that leaf ink that we were talking about and use it to journal, to write journal entries, sigils, or spells focused on shadow work, healing, and introspection. Think of it as a seasonal truth serum. You can do whispers to the bare branches. After the trees begin losing their leaves, whisper your desires or questions into the bare branch. The absence of leaves symbolizes openness and spiritual communication, especially around Samhain. Some believe that spirits hear better through skeletal branches, which I think is cool. You can do a tree spirit board. Draw a basic spirit board or pendulum chart on bark or on a fallen leaf and use it under the moonlight with a pendulum. Trees are ancient record keepers. Some witches believe that they help filter messages from beyond. So, where summer trees are extroverts, fall trees are wise old witches slipping you advice on the wind while undressing slowly and dramatically in a colorful whirlwind of wisdom.
Absolutely. Autumn trees really do have that magical, mystical quality. And it's like they invite us to slow down, reflect, and embrace that inner wisdom. It's such a perfect time for those deeper, more introspective, magical practices. And the trees really do feel like they're guiding us through that transition. It's such a magical season.
It is. And then comes the winter tree magic. Winter tree magic is chill, obviously, no pun intended, mysterious, and deeply ancestral. So think skeletal branches reaching into the void, snow dusted trunks, guarding hidden secrets, and roots humming beneath the frozen earth. Perfect for witches who like their magic a little eerie, a little reflective, and very powerful. So you can do silent tree meditations, sit with bare tree in total stillness. Winter is a time of rest and retreat, so tune into that. Trees in winter teach the power of quiet strength and inner work. Breathe in, listen, and immediately journal afterward. Kind of free flow, that free flow writing that you do. See what comes out. Okay, I realize some of you live in areas where it's hard to go outside and sit with the trees in below zero temperatures. I got a little bit of a spanking on TikTok for my winter magic video because I encouraged everybody to go outside in the snow, and they were like, you don't want to go out in the snow up here. And I was like, okay, I get it. But on days when you can, bundle up, go outside, visit your trees, and when you come inside, you can have some hot chocolate. The shadow spell with bare branches would be something you could do in the winter. Collect small fallen branches and arrange them in a circle on your altar or outside in the snow. Use this circle to hold shadow work items, grief journaling, or cold truth spells. The exposed wood is perfect for raw, unfiltered energy. Who needs therapy when you can vent to the trees and call it shadow work? You can do snow sigils on bark, like we were talking about the sigils that we could do and the bark above that we talked about before.
Exactly. You can draw sigils right onto the bark of a tree with a bit of snow, or even use some water that will freeze in the cold. As the sigil melts away or fades, it releases that intention into the universe in such a gentle, natural way. It's a beautiful way to work with the energy of the season. And it really highlights how, even in the stillness of winter, there's so much magic and potential all around us.
Yeah, I feel like winter has us feel that magic even more because of that stillness. You can do an ice encasing spell, place a leaf or twig, ethically gathered, of course, in water and freeze it. In some places, it's so cold outside, you can freeze it outside. In some places where it's not so cold, you might have to freeze it inside in your freezer. But as it freezes, focus your intent for whatever it is, preservation, clarity, even binding, whatever it might be. And when you're ready, melt it as part of a releasing ritual. And maybe if you can do it outside where it will freeze outside, you can do it under a new moon or a full moon or whatever moon for the phase that you like. Winter trees aren't dead. They're just kind of ghosting us until springtime. They're still there. They're still powerful.
Absolutely. They're just resting and gathering their energy. And there's something so beautifully magical about that quiet power. It's like the trees are reminding us that it's okay to slow down and turn inward for a bit, and that there's a lot of strength in that stillness. It's definitely a special kind of magic that winter trees share with us.
And then don't forget forests. If a single tree holds magic, an entire forest can be ultra magical. We have talked about some haunted forests in a past episode. I think it might have been an After Dark episode, but here's a few that I remembered that really stuck with me. The Devil's Tramping Ground in North Carolina, United States. It's a 40-foot barren circle where nothing grows. Legend says the devil himself paces there at night, plotting humanity's downfall. Items left in the circle supposedly get thrown out every morning or by each morning. And then there's the elfin forest in California, United States. It's called the Witch's Domain. It's said to be haunted by the ghost of gypsies who were massacred and a white witch. Screams, cold spots, apparitions, and phantom riders on horseback are common lore. So that's all we've got for today. Thank you for listening. I hope you liked our episode. If you want to know more about us, check out our website at www.c3witchypodcast.com. There you can find our episodes, our merch, links to where you can support us if you want to, all kinds of things. If you do want to support us, because that would be awesome if you did, you can do so through Buzzsprout or Patreon. You get some extra goodies on Patreon, like recipes, cheat sheets, calendar pages, grimoire pages, and all of that. All kinds of fun stuff. But thank you again for sharing your time with us. We'll be back. And until then, stay witchy.